What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be talking about another center as an NBA draft prospect for the Chicago Bulls. Will this one fare a little bit better? Would this one be more suited compared to the last one we talked about? Today, we're going to talk about Kel'el Ware, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully I said his name correctly. Again, there's a lot of centers. There's a lot of names that just being thrown out there that I just don't know. And this one might be added to the list. But his stats look good. There's a lot of good things about him. But there's one big weakness that could be a big stumbling block for the Bulls if we were to select him. And we need to talk about it in this video. But before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and Kel'el Ware, and do you think that this is a good combination, and can he be selected with the 11th overall pick for the Chicago Bulls? So what do we need to know about him? Well, for the fourth time in the space of this entire series, we are talking about a center, ladies and gentlemen. He is 7 foot tall, 242 pounds at 20 years of age. So around about a very normal center, I guess you could say, compared to all the other centers we talked about. This one fits right up there in terms of the height, the weight, the age, and everything in between. His stats, though, is what really stands out to me. He averages 15.9 points per game, 9.9 rebounds, 1.5 assists, shooting 58.6% from the field and 42.5% from the three-point line. We're going to get into that a little bit later, but those stats look good, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? I think in terms of statistics, this is up there as some of the best that we have seen thus far, which is quite incredible, to be honest. But, of course, with strengths, weaknesses, and everything in between, we're going to have to really dissect what this player could be at the NBA level. So what are his strengths first, ladies and gentlemen? Well, he is a player that has been talked about with good movement, mobility, and athleticism. Basically, a very solid build, ladies and gentlemen. Something that could be well adaptable to the NBA level. Again, you don't necessarily want a slow center these days. You don't want a center that can't jump off the floor. You don't want a center that can't grab a block. It looks like there's no real issues in that department. He's able to move well in the pick and rolls. He's able to keep up with offensive players. He's able to keep up as a defender, and he's able to just provide a lot of defensive energy. I wouldn't necessarily say he's the best defender I've seen on the list, but in saying that, he is doing very well on the defensive end at the college level. Can that really transition into the NBA level? That's a whole different story. But one thing I like compared to most of the other centers, probably besides Zach Edey, ladies and gentlemen, his rebounding numbers, 9.9 rebounds per game as a 7-footer. So there's no excuse to me when I look at all the other 7-footers in the league and why they're getting 7 rebounds or 5 rebounds per game when this one is getting 9.9. Basically a double-double, a walking double-double at the college level. And I like to see that. And I do have worries about rebounding and how that could be translated to the NBA level because they're not versing 19-year-olds and 20-year-olds every single game anymore. They're going to be versing Joel Embiid. They're going to be versing Nikola Jokic. Heck, they're going to be versing Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond is a rebounding monster. You have to be able to hold your own on the glass. I think that's a massive part of a center's game, especially on this Bulls team that is so small at the moment. So I like those rebounding numbers, and I think that's a big plus in his, in his category at the moment, in his ability. I'm very, very happy with those rebounding numbers, and if we did select him, I'd be very happy to know that we've got a good rebounder in return. Something else, can run the floor well. As I mentioned, he's very athletic and he can move well, so that leads to obviously him being able to run the floor well. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. There's a couple of centers out here that we've talked about that have been able to run the floor well. He's got decent post skills. It's not necessarily a big highlight to his game, to be honest, from what I've seen, but it's something that should be respected. Again, can pass with both hands. Really, really nice to see. Can finish with both hands. Really nice to see. Not passing. Still an okay passer at 1.5 assists. And potential for shot blocking, averaging 1.3 blocks per game. So keep that in mind. That should be very interesting. Let's move on into some weaknesses. I think the biggest weakness, there's one weakness here for me, and that is he was critiqued heavily for not bringing effort and for being called soft. And that is at the college level, ladies and gentlemen. Now, bringing effort is something I'm not necessarily concerned about. Reason being, there's been a lot of college players. There's been a lot of players that have their hype, so much hype around them, that they don't try as hard as they should at the college level. And those things get fixed at the NBA level. I'm looking at LaMelo Ball in this instance. I don't know why I keep comparing everybody to LaMelo Ball. But there were times where LaMelo Ball was in high school and college cherry picking his lights out. Didn't need to try hard to have good stats. And ultimately, you see it at the NBA level, he's obviously much more of a hard worker now. Lonzo Ball could be the same in that category. You know, just constant cherry picking all the time. Doesn't look like that's the case when it comes to, obviously, you know, when in the NBA. You expect him to be better there. But being called soft is the biggest issue for me. We don't need another soft center in this league. We don't need another soft center in the NBA. Now, granted, he's 20 years old. There's always room for improvement there. I think, let me give you an example. This is not a center here, but Denny Advia for the Washington Wizards was called soft for the first couple seasons. And now in this season, he is finishing contact layups like no tomorrow. He's not been called soft no more, ladies and gentlemen. So often, you can get out of that phase of being called soft, but if you get called soft in college, you definitely don't want that reputation around the league. So yeah, it's as simple as that. He's going to have to fix things in that category. So that is the biggest weakness that he has to his game, in my opinion. And that's the biggest worry. So with that being said, would I take him with the 11th overall pick? Well, I think he's better than the previous center I talked about in Missy. He's still an interesting character. Again, the stats are there. The stats look incredible. The stats, really, really nice. Can I get over him being called soft? I think I probably could in the end, because I think being called soft is just maybe something that it can be different for different people. It's an opinion that can be changed, essentially. It's an opinion that not everybody might share. So I hope if he gets signed to the Bulls, there is more effort that he puts in on the court each and every single game for 82 games straight. And hopefully that soft factor will not be there at the NBA level. And hopefully that's just a critique that people really wanted to run with but isn't true. I don't really know. You're not going to see, oh, it's called soft from highlight plays, are you? You're going to see it from critiques from NBA scouts and from other people that do watch the ins and outs. So we'll have to wait and see. But thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow and or subscribe if you are new. And I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care. And peace.